special Monday edition of the Siteman Softball Podcast. We'll start here in a quick hot second. Hope you are doing well. Still, obviously, a little recovery from the duel here, but no rest for the weary. Got to get our podcast in because tomorrow, can't talk. Tomorrow, that'll be a little bit of a problem on the podcast if I can't talk. Going to Mexico with my wonderful wife for a little vacation. So I want to make sure to get the Siteman Softball Podcast in here. Let's share this around here. We're going to send in Messenger here. And boom, ready to roll. So if you're in the house, say hi. What's up, Derek? Little show before the show here, before we get started here. A lot to talk about with the Texas duel, of course, which was craziness. 2 duels, 3 weeks equals craziness, my friends. So that's going to be a big topic today. A lot of other things to discuss as well. Still hydrating after the duel. But this is a special Monday edition of the Siteman Softball Podcast. What is up? Hi, Misty. Mr. Drew Rogers in the house, as always. I got something to say about Drew in this episode. I'll make a note of that. I don't want to forget about that. Okay, I got a Drew comment, a good one, which I'm going to mark right here. Don't want to forget. So hope everyone's travel was going well. And, yeah, salty drinks. I've always got my salt drink going. And, hope everyone's travel plans. It was kind of crazy getting down to Dallas. I'll talk about that in a second. Brandon Miller, who is Duel 2 championship coach, manager, Euless, Texas, Mexico, all in a matter of 1 week. 2 amazing vacation destinations. That's crazy. Yeah. What's funny is, obviously it was just in Dallas. Now I'm home for less than 30 something hours. We leave very early morning tomorrow, going to Cabo, but fly back through Dallas. So, that's fun for everybody. So just going back and forth here, but all good stuff here, as we get into the week. All right, here we go. Episode 81 of the Siteman Softball Podcast. This is the Texas Legends Duel Recap. I'm David Siteman Garland. Welcome. Hello. How are you? We are live here again. For those of you that are very confused now about what day it is today, it is indeed Monday. This is a special Monday edition of the podcast. So just getting back into the swing of things, no pun intended, after Texas. And, that's really going to be our major topic this week. We'll be talking about the duel, some other things as well. First of all, a few shameless plugs. Number one, reminder, at Siteman Softball on Instagram, Siteman Softball Nation, SitemanSoftball.com/podcast. We always appreciate the sponsorship of the Siteman Cancer Center and also U.S. Bank Private Wealth Management, who sponsors our topic of the week. When it comes to your finances, you need an insight founded on experience at U.S. Bank Private Wealth Management. Our team is ready to help you navigate complex financial situations and advise you away. Visit usbank.com/private wealth, equal housing lender, member FDIC. All right, so to kick off talking about the duel, first of all, I want to congratulate 2 teams that won the duels, and that is Chick-fil-A, who won duel number 1, and Competitive Edge, who won duel number 2. And let me tell you, and this is not smoke when I'm saying this, that those are 2 organizations that I really like, really look up to, really like the management of. And so it's kind of cool seeing some of the good guys, not that there's bad guys, but I'm saying the good guys here. Love to see that. So congratulations to John and the Chick-fil-A crew, and of course Mark, Brandon, and the entire Competitive Edge crew. So good people winning good things down there at the duel. So congratulations to them. It was, first of all, heading down to Dallas was shenanigans. So Dallas is a very, very fast flight from St. Louis. We're talking hour and 15 there, hour and 20 maybe, even quicker on the way back. So we had this great plan. This is why, plan to fail, fail to plan. No, it's the other way around, right? It's the opposite. So we were going to go a few of us early, get settled, get to the hotel, relax, all that kind of stuff on Wednesday. So our flight left St. Louis at 10:15, getting into Dallas at noonish. And first of all, there was terrible weather in Dallas. So we circled above Dallas for a while. Then they closed the Dallas airport. And then we got off the plane in Houston, 3.5 hours in Houston, somewhere around there, maybe even 4. Back on the plane, delayed again, had to take a different route to Dallas because there was too much traffic going into Dallas because of all the delayed flights at that time. Finally landed about 7 something in Dallas. And so, yeah, that was a little bit of a stressful, I guess, start to the trip. Another good reason to come in a day early, though, so that it wasn't like trying to race and make a game. At one point, we're like, well, we might just rent a car from Houston and get there. But we got there, and everyone else got there, except for there was of course, mechanical problem in the Carolinas. So David Bear had to miss the first game, which was at 9:20 a.m. on Thursday. So that was kind of a rough one because we were kind of expecting him to be in the lineup for the first game, but instead he had to get up at 3 in the morning and get there. And, that's just goes along with the travel. Do you know what I mean? It's just something that happens. Travel is slow pitch softball. So we got everyone there, and we got there a very late David Bear, who got to play the rest of the tournament after the first game. So, first of all, I want to talk about some general thoughts. Then we'll go game by game. And if you have any commentary on this duel or anything else, let me know. Fire it in the comments as well. I love the facility in Texas. I said this on the podcast before. It's one of my favorite places. I think the atmosphere is great. The one challenge of this duel, which I found kind of interesting, was not a big fan of it. I'll explain why. Is that you have the 4 main fields, and obviously you need to have more fields because there's so many teams. There's 38 teams. So the different thing was that the other field, which we played on twice, some teams played on it 0 times, so we played on it twice, was this giant field in Arlington, 365 to the gaps, 385 to center, 335 down the line, using a Pro-Am ball. And I don't mind the bigger field or anything like that, but it's just a very, very different game when you're playing on the big field versus the small field. So it's kind of inconsistent, right? Meaning the small field, everyone's blowing out all their home runs, all that kind of stuff. On the big field, sometimes depends on the wind and things like that, but you're kind of playing 2 different games. Like when you're in Florida, you're playing all the big fields, right? They're all the same. So, okay, there you go. When you play in Chicago, they're all the smaller fields. They're all the same. So there you go. This one, like I said, it's a little bit more challenging and different because, randomly you're put on that field. And one time because of some weather, we got put on that field. So that changes things in the tournament. Let's see. So, that was one thing. The weather was all over the place. It was sunny. It was cold. It was raining. It was this. It was that. It was whatever it was. Certainly nowhere near as warm as Florida. That I can tell you. Nowhere near as warm as Florida. Relatively cold down there. Now, if there's one thing that, I don't come on here to complain by any means on this show, but we were talking with several people and they said, you better mention this on the podcast. And I said, okay, I'm going to mention it. Okay. What balls down there was crap. Shouldn't happen. You need to do better. Right. Here's what happened with the balls. Pro-Ams were being used. The Pro-Ams were great. They were great. They were flying. The Pro-Ams were fantastic. No problem with that. Even on the stadium field, the Pro-Ams did pretty well. Right. So the Pro-Ams were great. In the middle of the tournament, they start to run out of Pro-Ams. All right. How does that happen? I don't know. Like, there was retrieval issues. I remember seeing Marshall at one point walking around holding like 50 Pro-Ams because I guess they're having trouble retrieving them. And Marshall himself went up there and got them. I saw some stuff. It was crazy because they literally ran out of balls. Now, I don't know who was going around. The world's fastest ball thief? Was it the world's fastest ball thief that was running around on a super high-powered scooter and a backpack, grabbing all the balls and racing out of there? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what the hell were so many balls lost because there seemed to be a lot of balls. And what happened is chaos. Once the balls started running out, they started bringing in 52-300 hot dots to use as well. And then there was confusion. Some games would have hot dots. Some games would have the Pro-Ams. It was crazy. So, in fact, the championship game of the first duel, at one point they said, okay, Pro-Ams for the winner's bracket, hot dots for the loser's bracket. But in the first duel, the championship game, the ship between Chick-fil-A and Resmondo was using right? So I don't know what the hell was going on with that, but I do have to say, got to do better than that one. I mean, that is ridiculous. I don't know if that means getting twice as many balls. I don't know if that means, hiring a little small army of ball retrievers, right, to run out there and get them. Got to get that right, because that's just, shouldn't be happening at a conference event. That's all I'm going to say about it. Everyone knows it. But this event was way more high scoring than Florida. And that made for some very interesting games as well. But yeah, it was crazy. The hot dot that went on there in Florida. In Texas. So, let's get into it. Congratulate Chick-fil-A and competitive edge. Talked about the ball situation. Talked about the different dimensions on the field. So you have the main complex, 305 to 310. And then you had the one mega field, 335, 385. Brandon saying that they used hot dots in the championship yesterday too. So yeah, that's just, I don't know. And the point is not that it's the point is not it's a worse ball or whatever it is. The point is it just needs to be the same ball the whole tournament, right? I don't think anyone would disagree with that we don't want a mystery ball being thrown in there. Okay, and even though it's the same ball for both teams, it's not like one team got to use Pro-Ams and one team didn't. It's not about that in the same game. Like, obviously both teams are swinging it. It's just, adds another element of mischief, right? All right. So I'm going to go through the duel a little bit with us. I'll give overall impressions, a few different thoughts. I'll give out our team MVP as well, and just kind of some general thoughts as we go. So first of all, we started the game. We started with Bay Area, and we started this one. This is our first game of the tournament, Bay Area Legends A team on the mega field. So we were on the mega field for game one, 9:20 in the morning versus Bay Area Legends. Now, this was a tale of two games. We were Flatterson for like 5 innings. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. We had a great BP. Everyone was feeling good. Maybe the travel. I can't come up with a great reason why we were so flat for 5 innings in that game. I really do not know. There was no excuse or any reason for it whatsoever. So we came out flat. At that point in the 5th inning, I was regretting all the life decisions that made me lead to this point, right? Like at the field, meaning I was like, we had BP issues in the morning, getting kicked out of some fields. There was David Bear couldn't get in because of the flights. There was so much going on. I was like, F this, in the 5th inning. I was like, for a second in my head. But then just like that, we turned it around. We were down 20-2, 6th inning, and the final score was 20-19, and we had an opportunity to win it too. So 20-19 was the final score in that game. So really, all of a sudden, we put it together in that game there. A little too late by 1 run, but changed the whole complexity of what was going on in this tournament. So we were dead for a few innings. We came back, did very, very well in that game at the last 2 innings. We just cannot wait that long to get going, right? Cannot wait that long to get going. Cannot happen. But that was the first game. Lost 2019. Full credit to Bay. Made a great game. We had some sponsor-on-sponsor crime because Yoli robbed me going down the line at first base. So good job, Yoli, on that one. And Dante Broom played a great center field for Bay Area Legends in that game, especially in that giant center field. We just put a lot of balls up there. Jose played great for us as well in center field. Let me see. Any other thoughts on this game here as I'm looking at it? Let's see. Willie Dooley, full credit in this game. He was blasting them. Stadium, no stadium. Pro-Am, no Pro-Am. Willie Dooley has returned, my friends. Hit 3 monster home runs in that game. Monster home runs. Not ones they're like, oh, that might get over the 365 fence. It was like into a different planet. So big shout out to Willie in that game. Eric Conan did a great job on the mound in that game. We had to make a pitching change. At one point, JB came in. So we had a lot of stuff going on in that game, but we were out of there 0-1. Move on to the next one. Now we get to come to the regular complex, and we get to play on the 305, 310 fields, which I'm going to be honest, that's what we're built for. We are built for those fields. The funny thing, or the ironic thing about it, is it took game 2 of the Texas Legends duel to be on a regular softball field, because we played the Florida duel. I'm talking about for conference. Florida duel was all obviously on the big fields. Then our first game in Texas was on the big field. So this is our first on like a normal sized field for softball, which again, our team is better suited for, quite frankly. And we showed that. Played Rebel. Now, if you remember, Florida duel, we owed Rebel a little bit. We were very bad in that game. They played great. The showing in that one. This one, we came to play. We came to play with Rebel in this one. We ended up pulling it out 27-26, but we played with the lead the entire game. It was almost the opposite of the Bay Area game. We played with the lead most of the game. They kind of cut into it at the very end, but couldn't make it all the way back. Final score is 27-26. We hit all 12 home runs in that game, which is good. That's what you want to see. That was a focus on the offseason, increasing our power a bit. So hit all 12 of them in that game, and a couple of HROs as well in that game. In terms of people that were killing it, I mean, Brandon Keene had a great game there with 4 hits. Brent McClure, who had a great game and great tournament with 4 hits. Drew Rogers was 4 for 4 with 2 home runs. Every game in this tournament, Luke Boyster played well. I'm not leaving anyone out here. I'm just trying to say who kind of stuck out in some of these games. So 27-26 over Rebel. That was a big one. That was a big one for us. Got some momentum. And then we had to earn, because of the win, folks, 7 a.m. was our game on Friday. 7 a.m. versus last year's B World champions, True. And a very solid A team at 7 in the morning. Okay? Now, said I was going to mention Drew Rogers. I'm going to give a shout right here. It is very difficult to beat Drew Rogers to a stadium getting ready for batting practice. We have it on the live stream. I want to say that Drew was there at 5:15 a.m. I don't know when it was there, setting up BP, and we were all there by 5:30 a.m., 5:25, 5:30 a.m. Jose as well. Yes. Thank you, Jose, for reminding me that Jose was there as well. Okay, fine. Jose as well. So what happened is we got there. Now, what we will pride ourselves on is we will be the most prepared team ready to go. And we are built for those 7 or 8 a.m. games or 9 o'clock games, because we will be up early, we will be on time, and we'll be ready to go. And no one's late. No one's complaining. No one says, oh, it's early in the morning. Everyone is there, ready to freaking go. I remember walking into the stadium and looking to my left. It was like me and a stray cat. Literally a stray cat was walking to my left. Like no one was around except us and Competitive Edge. Us and Competitive Edge, right? We're around. That's the key that I see to all this as well. We were prepared for True. We were ready to go in that game, and we showed it. And we came out and we put it on them. All right, we put them on this game. I'm just gonna put it on us. I say we put it on us. We put it on them, and there was no stopping us. There was a point where we almost hit for an hour straight in that game. It was a 3-inning game, and the final score was 38-4 us. And we were the visiting team. So we were the visiting team at bat 3 times, 38 runs, hit all the home runs as well, all 12 of them. And that was just, that one I'm so proud of because, one, True is a good team. Obviously, they're a way better team than they showed there, right? But so are we. So are we. Like, I like our team. We're going to be very, very good. And this can show you, like, what can happen when we start stringing this hitting together. I mean, it was a thing of beauty. I wish I, it's great that it's on the live stream so you can watch that, right? Yeah, it's a thing of beauty in that game, ready for True. The box score for that game is ridiculous. I mean, everyone's stats are unbelievable in that game. We had, let's see, 12 home runs. We had 27 hits. We had 11 walks in that game, I mean, it was, oh, I'm sorry, it's the wrong game. Excuse me. 40 hits, 2 walks in that game in 3 innings. 40 hits, 2 walks in that game. A lot of people 5 for 5. Danny Larson 5 for 5. Willie Dooley 5 for 5. David Bear 5 for 5. Everyone else had 4, 3, or 2 hits in that game. So we just came out to play in that game and just kind of ran over True. Then we had a very interesting one against Sports Reach. So Sports Reach was our fourth game of the tournament. We're 2-1 at this point. Sports Reach, by the way, very, very good Double-A team. Full credit to them and their management. They really revamped their team. Last year, I think they played. They weren't real happy with their season last year, right? Sports Reach, so they completely revamped, picked up guys from other very high-level teams, and we knew going into this that they're a very good team, and we also knew we were going. The best thing that could have happened in that game was we lost the coin flip. So we've been hitting. Guess what we kept doing is we kept hitting. We scored 19 in the first against Sports Reach. Full credit to them. Full credit to Sports Reach. They're a veteran team. They know what they're doing. They're a high-skilled team. They did not crumble. A lot of teams, 19 in the top of the first, they might as well grab the bags and see out of there, right? But Sports Reach, not at all. They battled in, and they only scored 5 in the bottom of the first. But they kept chipping away. They kept chipping away. Chip. And they finally caught us very, very late in the game. And the final score in this one ended up being 40-39 Sports Reach. Full credit to them. Boy, I would have liked to pull this one out. We were the away team, so even if we had tied it there, they had hit all 14 home runs in that game, which I'm very happy with our team. And again, it was a great game. There were some great defensive plays on both sides of that game as well. And just full credit to both teams. I mean, it was just a great game. Jagger in that game, 7 RBIs, right? Jose, 7 RBIs. Drew Rogers, 8 RBIs. So screw your 7. I got 8, right? We had a lot of just good things that happened in that game. So do you want to win that game? Yes. Do you think we should have won that game? We probably should have, right? We didn't, but we played well. We lost a good one. You can't be mad at it, right? Matt points out that we scored 19 on only 5 home runs. Okay, that's in that first inning as well. Yes, that's correct. So we were in a good situation there, and we left the first duel with a positive taste in our mouth, as much as you can have something positive after a loss, right? Our goal every tournament is to get better, and I consider duels almost one tournament because you're there one time. So I'm comparing both duels to each other. And, that was a good one. We ended up finishing in 13th place in the tournament out of 38. We were in the top 3 of A teams in the tournament. So was very proud of the guys for how we at duel number 1. So that was duel number 1. And our joke was that Matt and I have been saying, boy, it would have been great just to go home at that point. Do you know what I mean? It would have been great just to go home. Not that duel 2 was a complete disaster. It wasn't like we're getting blown out horribly every game or anything like that. But boy, we came back a bit flat. There was rain. They moved us fields. Both teams, to start duel number 2, we start with Roof X. So Uncle Mooch and the boys, but Uncle Mooch didn't play. Ryan McClanahan was pitching for Roof X. Both teams were a little bit flat in that game. It's that second duel at 5:15 p.m. in the rain, swirling wind. It wasn't really raining. Just stopped raining. Moving fields. Both teams were a little pillow fighty in that game. Roof X and versus us. I know we were kind of a little stagnant, trying to do everything I could to get us going. Everyone was trying to get us going. But we just, I don't know. We were a little bit flat. They were it was a little bit of a pillow fight, like I said. And they end up winning this game 16-14. Roof X, Double-A team. We know them. A lot of the guys last year were on. Why am I blanking on what the name of their team was last year? It was Silverbacks, obviously, the year before. Rock Run was last year. Now it's Roof X plus Uncle Mooch and Ryan McCann. Very good team. That we came back at the end of that game as well. We scored a lot of runs in the 7th inning, but again, a little, too late in that game, unfortunately. too much else to say about that game. It wasn't like disappointed. It was just everyone was kind of tired in that game. It seemed like both teams were a little bit tired. Let's see. Statistically in that game, let's see. Jagger had 4 RBIs. John Bonham, 2 RBIs. John Bonham had a great tournament as well, top to bottom. Let's see. Tyler came in there, had a big. Tyler Cookland, great job by him. A lot of other guys just continued their good work in that game. Luke Boyster, who had a tremendous tournament, top to bottom, 3 for 3 in that game. And that's where we were with Rock Run. Then going into the final game, the next day was against Epic. Now, Epic, full credit to them, Tyler and the guys. Boy, they've been on a really, 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 really good run. I mean, they had a great first duel, been hitting the ball, and they just been doing it very good, playing very well. This game got away from us. We had one really, 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 really bad inning where we couldn't seem to find the plate. We used 4 different pitchers in that, including our closer, Matt Petrov, coming out with a hockey helmet on to get one final out in that inning, which was, I got to be honest, when you're getting killed and it's not that fun at the time, having something funny like that happen is a positive. And Matt came in there and got our final out inning. We just had one bad inning in that game. It was a one bad inning situation. The game was very close. They got way up, and then we needed to score a bunch of runs, and we fell 1 short. I think we had to score 12 or 13 runs to keep going. I think it was 13, and we scored 12. Like, we came 1 short from continuing the game for one more inning, and they were out of home runs. If that game continues, don't know what happens. If we could have gotten that last run, we have a couple innings, maybe it was 2 innings maybe to work with. You never know what happens. But full credit to Epic. They stepped on us there. But this was not a game that we played terrible. The final score was 37-22. Not a game where we played terrible. We were hitting completely fine. It's just we ran into some issues where we couldn't get out of an inning. It happens to the best of us. Brent was 4 for 4 in the game. We had some great defensive plays in this game. I'm not sure which game. It wasn't this one. Might have been Rebel. I'm not sure, where Jose brought a home run back. We really we just at the very end there just had that bad inning at a bad time, right? So unfortunately, we finished 0-2 in the second duel. But overall, I'm walking away very positive from the Texas duel, right? David Bear says the game was much closer than the final indicated. Dramatically less wind, and well, you never know, right? But the conditions are both for both teams. Same for both teams, but yeah, the game was way closer than the score. You're 100% right on that. But I walk away positive out of the duels because, the goal here is an upward thing as we go into the World Tournament, right? The A World Tournament. And we started in Florida. That was our base. And now Texas, we play better than Florida. Next up is Nashville. Hopefully we play better than Texas. And then hopefully after that is Chicago. We play better than Nashville, right? You want to keep going on that upward swing. And I think we're doing a very good job of that. Still have a few things to figure out, but they become less and less every single time. And we're going to be ready to go in Nashville. I will not personally be in Nashville, as it is my wife's birthday, and also we have a wedding that weekend. So I will not personally be there, but Siteman Pure will be in the house in Nashville. So that is I got a couple of things to talk about here, but that is my recap of the Siteman Pure experience at Texas Duel. Now I'm going to go through here and see stuff like that as well. Let's see here. By the way, I appreciate the love on the post I put up today. I just decided to do that this morning. I was putting a lot of work on my personal game, on and off the field. Off the field, I mean it. On the field, obviously, I mean practice and execution, right? And it was really fun to contribute a lot this weekend. And I, was proud of that. So I put up a little video, and the comment section of that video is great. If you want some positivity today, read that. Read the comment section on that video. It's on my Facebook at facebook.com/David Garland. Also on my personal Instagram at davidsitemangarland.com. At David Siteman Garland on Instagram. Check that out. Because what I love in the comments, and this is a good lesson for everybody here, is people saying, hey, way to not be afraid to put yourself out there, put things that you're proud of or whatever without any word from other people. Like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm proud of it. If it helps motivate someone else to do something cool in their life, awesome. But I was proud of the work and the results. So we get there. Still, plenty of things to improve on. But I was very happy about being able to contribute and help the guys this weekend as well. So that was a cool thing. And so, yeah, I appreciate the love on that video that I put up, which was kind of a compilation of some hits from the tournament from me. So that was pretty cool. Fun. Someone asked me again about Early Bird Cocktail, which I had going with me. I talked to Early Bird. I've got another link for you guys. You could actually try it, a sample for free. Just pays shipping and handling. I got a link for you. Early Bird is the clean energy that I use during these tournaments, mixed with some electrolytes, and it gets me through these tournaments, right? Highly, highly recommended. And I've got a link for you if you want to check it out. Go here. DSG recommends. So my initials, DSG recommends.com/try early bird. So DSG recommends.com/try early bird. And that's going to bring you to a page where you can try and get some sample packets for yourself. Absolutely free. Just pay shipping. Give it a shot. Throw it in your water. You're going to get that nice. It's not like an energy bump like this. It's more like this, but it doesn't drop off for it. So, so I would highly recommend checking out. Any questions, concern, now that part of the podcast here. Let me go into the chat as well. Do we have any issues overall that you heard of with bat testing in Texas? Nope. I think we failed 2 bats out of 20, something like that, in Texas, and that they were both very, very close and have been hit a lot. So ours were rolling in Texas. Let's see. What else do we have here? I think there's not too many other. Hang on one second here. Just seeing if I missed any questions or anything in here. Let's see. Larson, we're built for 7 a.m. That's very true. Brandon Miller, always in the house. Yes, congratulations on the win. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up here, folks. Next up, of course, is Nashville. A few weeks off. I think everyone could use a few weeks off. For us, it's Nashville. There's Myrtle Beach. Conference has an event there. It's a pretty small one that I saw from last one. Nashville is going to be huge. 30-plus teams in that going on at the end of May, last weekend in May, and then we play the following weekend right after that in the first weekend in June in Chicago. So there's a lot going on. No rest for the weary, my friends. Thank you for tuning in today. This was episode number of the Siteman Softball Podcast. I'm your host, David Siteman Garland. Thank you to the Siteman Cancer Center and also U.S. Bank Private Wealth Management. We will see you soon, my friends. Bye.